So, Justin, let's start with what I hope will be a relatively straightforward question. How has 2025 been for the Remington Group?
So far, really good. If you look at our core business, so which is the print businesses, we're about 28% up on last year.
Wow.
And on track to probably have the best year we've ever had. So it's been really good from that respect. If you look at the other parts of the business, BizPrint, that is on track to hit target for the year. And then we launched OFC or OF Communications back in, was late last year. So that's a fledgling new business. I mean, it was an acquisition business, but it was purely like a IP telephone company. We've broadened the range into the ICT space, and that one, and also an ISP, so internet service provider as well. So we've seen some good growth. That's a sort of, at least it's grown half as much again in this first 12 months. So by all accounts, the year's, it's going to finish well. We'll finish strong. And looking into 2026, even stronger. This year we've done a few things. One, we're investing in a new retail brand.
Right.
So that we'll have 2 locations, Pom and Lay, up and running by middle of November. There's a look to expand that into Mount Hagen and Kokopo going into H1 of next year. So we'll have 2 more locations there. On the other side of things, we've opened a branch in Kavieng. We're about to open a branch in Booker.
Wow.
There's a plan to open a branch in Alatau going into Q1 of next year. So that'll see us grow from 7 locations to 10 locations nationally.
A couple of people have said to me recently in the course of conversation that they do see opportunity outside of the main cities in PNG, Pom Lay. What your rollout strategy suggests is that their opportunities are out there?
Absolutely, yeah. Particularly from the retail side of things, because it's we've got competitors, but from what I see is we're going to be a niche IT accessory business that will, I guess, complement the print business from a point. I mean, we currently run promotions where you buy a copy, you get a laptop.
Right.
Buy a copy, you get a phone. Buy a copy, get a TV. So what we're going to do now is funnel those promotions back into that retail business. So rather than, and 9 times out of 10, when the customer wants a phone, well, when we're promoting a phone, they want a television, or vice versa. So what we're going to do is give the customers a voucher that they can walk into the store and just pick whatever they want. So it'll give more choice, but what it does is keep that in the family, whereas before we were buying externally. So that in itself is a considerable amount of business. But what this will be and how it will end up, I guess time will tell. The online space is a key for this because at the moment, there's not too many businesses that you can log in, order, pay, and have it delivered within PNG.
No.
So, for want of a better comparison, we want to try and get in at the ground level and become the Amazon of PNG. So that's taken some time and investment, but I think we're there, and I know there's a spot for us in that market. So certainly outside of Mount Hagen, as I say, Kokopo, even Booker doesn't really have anything like that. So we can ground it with the Remington business, and then have the high tech business that that will grow from that.
We've had conversations with the telcos in the last few days, and obviously people are transferring their loyalty to that old 2G, 3G phones handset to smartphones, which opens up all sorts of opportunities, doesn't it? E-commerce being just one of them. How do you see that market growing in PNG over the next few years? What is the opportunity in your view?
Well, I certainly think the online side of things. I mean, somebody being able to order something from their handset. Things. If you look externally at what's happened just in the last 6 months, there's a There's an app that you can get that's an Uber app here now.
Yes.
So
Odesh, is that right?
no, it's
another one.
called Star Trip.
Trip.
That's come on, and if you look at what that's doing online and Facebook, it's not quite the Uber that you get in Australia, but it's certainly a very, very good alternative. And I mean, from a security perspective, cost perspective, now more than ever, that technology, I think, will drive a whole lot of different types of businesses that were never here.
Yes.
I think from our perspective, certainly from an app point of view, we'll be looking forward into how can we develop apps that are going to make people be able to deal with us better. Now, whether that be from I need a toner cartridge for my copier, or I need a technician out there, but we'll be looking at ways, in conjunction with our key partners, Kieseker and Alta, what are they doing in Australia? So now that technology is here, what can we introduce? And that will only grow our business and grow a different type of market for us as well.
Are you seeing a development of that innovation culture in PNG?
Yeah.
And what more can be done to encourage it, in your view?
I think so. I mean, if you look, there's some players out there that are developing apps. There's some people in country, particularly with that online space. I mean, we looked externally, but there's some really good people doing really good work in the country. I think that they just need to be promoted more. I think that people need to understand that, it's not necessarily a better thing to go and get someone to do it in Australia. When somebody's in country, they come in, you meet, you get updates. And we've done that from a web perspective. And I think that while that's encouraged, it can only grow. And with, I guess, the technological thing and internet coming down and that sort of thing, there'll be more of these things in people's hands, which will then grow that industry. So you'll have more people innovating. As I said, the Star Trip app it's not quite an Uber app, but it's a very good alternative to it. But I think that what'll happen is, we'll end up with the Ubers and all of those sorts of industries that just aren't here, right? So that means a completely different market that's going to need technology, that's going to need expertise, that's going to need all of that stuff. So I think if those big projects kick off next year, it's only going to encourage people to invest more internally, which is what we're doing. I mean, I'd rather give work to somebody in PNG than outside of. So,
I guess the other side of the coin then is actually human resources, is having the skills that you need in your business to deploy. There's generally considered to be a shortage of highly skilled personnel in this market. How do you go about handling that within your business? What's your strategy for retention and developing skills?
The development of skills, we've got an apprenticeship program that runs from a technical perspective. We're the only company in our segment that's done that, and we've been doing that for the last probably 4 years. So, we take people on and we give them a 4-year path, and obviously that is everyday training on site, but they also go and we've got a couple of guys at the moment that are out doing a 12-week college element to that. So it is a bona fide apprenticeship. They walk out with a bit of paper, they walk out with some value. So the investment in that and to continue that. So every year we take on half a dozen new apprentices. And that for us is an investment in our future, but it also is investing in the segment. So, somebody comes in and they've got, as I say, that qualification. That person could start off as a copier tech and end up working in a mine site, as an ICT manager. So, that's what we're doing in country. The challenge from an ICT space I see, if you're looking for systems engineers, very hard to get the quality, because if the quality's out there and it's being looked after. So that's one of the challenging spaces. We've got, again, some young guys that are in our ICT and our own IT division that look after the group, but investing in them training. Now, whether that be in country or whether that be going to Australia and getting certified on specific brands, products, parts of that IT space, that's the way that I see us investing in them. So, and you'd hope that investment would see the loyalty and the long term.